I'm going to talk about brainstorming for ideas for essay writing. Okay, so firstly, we're going to look at Prism. So what is Prism? I try to think of it by memorizing using my head. Okay, so the P represents political. Next one will be religious. Next will be economic, social, and finally mass media. So by using these methods, I can try to think of different points that I can come up with. Okay, the next one, I'm going to talk about the different players that you have inside the society. Okay, so the different players, okay, will include the biggest, which is the thumb, the strongest will be the government, because the government have the resources and the ability to enforce and implement policies. Okay, next biggest will be actually businesses. Okay, the next strongest, of course, will be organizations. It could be non-governmental or governmental, government-linked. Next will actually be organizations that are criminal in nature. And finally, unfortunately, the weakest will be individuals. But together, they can actually be very strong. So this will represent the people. And the stronger is government. And businesses or corporations or incorporated companies. Okay, and these are organizations. And this okay, another thing that we can think about when we try to approach a question is to brainstorm based on moral absolutes. Okay, so when it comes to moral absolutes, okay, the main principles, right, are of harm. Okay, we try not to harm people, but of course, at the same time, that means we are talking about caring for others. Okay, another moral absolute, okay, that is often discussed is the idea of fairness or reciprocity. So you reciprocate. Okay, another one would be loyalty to the group. Okay, on top of that, we have respect for authority. And finally, we have purity or sanctity. So when you try to think of the different points, you can think about how it is because of moral reasons, okay, that cause us to behave in a certain way. Okay, next we're going to talk about trying to think of the different players again, but this time we're going to go from the small circle outwards. Okay, what do I mean? The small circle represents us, the individual. Then beyond that, of course, we talk about family. Then after that, we think about community. Okay, beyond that, we have society, okay, or nation. Okay, then after that, of course, we talk about, right, points that relate to the globe or to all the countries, or to many countries. Okay, of course, when we talk about many countries, we also think about something, we think about different types of countries. Okay, what types of countries do we have? Right, of course, usually we think about rich, okay, versus poor. Right, in general, we try to talk about first world, okay, versus third world countries. By the way, there is no such thing as a second world. Okay, you call them developed and developing, but you can't call a country undeveloped. Okay, besides that, we also, of course, usually refer also to big countries, right, like America, and then small countries like Singapore. Okay, we also have those that have a older history, okay, they have a long history, and those with a short history like Singapore. So we have a young nation. Okay, we also can talk about in terms of whether they are, okay, whether their political system is linked to religion or whether it's not. Okay, and sometimes we'll think about whether it's liberal, a more liberal society, or less liberal one, which we call conservative. Okay, beyond that, we can talk about the key global movements now. So when you think about the context of today, you might usually want to think about, firstly, advanced science and technology, Secondly, the wave of liberalization that is sweeping across the globe because of media. Okay, thirdly, you might want to talk about globalization. So there's economic, political and cultural effects from globalization. And finally, it's about the idea of media. Okay, of course now we talk about new media, social media as well as traditional media. Okay, these are the key global movements that it sets the context for what you're going to discuss about.